What's up, folks? How's it going? Coming to you for a quick video about the pending invasion of the Earth. If you listen to some, I don't know what the fuck. As everyone will be quite aware, they have shot down several unidentified objects. Well, one was identified because we saw it. Several other unidentified objects, and the theories are ranging from aliens to everything in between. The only reason I'm making this video is because I have an opinion about this that I have not heard anybody else say. So we'll get to that. I'm not just making this video to say the same thing. Everybody knows what happened. But I'm relatively close to where they shot down this object over Lake Huron, which is wild to me. And I personally saw... One thing I like about having moved up here is that there's very few planes. Like, I don't see any jets. That's what I hated about living near the city, amongst other things. But planes constantly going overhead, contrails making the sky look like shit. Up here, there's no planes. There's like little prop planes from the little airfield, but there's no fucking jets going by. And on Saturday, there was a large, in my non-expert opinion, military aircraft flying overhead. I say that based on the coloring of the craft. I never see planes here. So then the next day they shot down whatever this thing was. And the government is being purposely obtuse for reasons that baffle me. I don't really understand. At this point, I think they're kind of baiting the Chinese. I don't really get that. It wouldn't be the first time that we baited an Asian superpower into trying to start a war with us for political reasons, though. So they refuse to really say that these things are Chinese balloons. I don't believe they're aliens. I believe they're balloons or drones. But the government has been saying, this is the craziest thing to me, because, I mean, the only logical thing to me is that it's to bait the Chinese, because it's making the American people very bothered, I think, is they're saying, well, we're finding these because we changed our radar search patterns, and this is just not, like, they should have been able to find that other object was huge. Like, you're telling me you weren't seeing these? I don't believe it. We've spent billions of dollars. Either that or the whole thing is a lie. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't believe that. What I do believe, and this is the thought I haven't heard anybody say yet, is that these other objects, I believe, are being launched from within the United States, possibly by foreign actors. It's such a huge continent, man. And it doesn't take... I mean, these other objects apparently weren't that large. You could have a couple of them in a truck or whatever in a fucking barn someplace and release them. And I haven't heard anybody even suggest that. And I think the government, for whatever reason, is more concerned about how the public would react if there were internal agent, enemy agents doing shit. But there already obviously are on all levels anyway. So that, to me, is the most logical explanation. Because the only other two things that make any sense, that's why the reason the public is saying aliens is not because, well, partially it's because the public has fucking lost their mind at this point, but it's because we had a certain expectation of the military's ability to detect things. Like, this shit shouldn't even be possible. And in my opinion, from everything I know, it really isn't possible for them to not see these objects entering our airspace unless they are just not doing their jobs, which is totally possible. So, in that sense, it's possible. If everything was working as it should, they should have found these objects. So that's my supposition, is that somebody is releasing, or multiple people, multiple places, are releasing these various objects. And, they might have some military value. I guess they could be gathering some kind of, data that's of some use to them, but I feel like the whole system is so compromised anyway. I mean, they got a backdoor into a lot of stuff. I don't know that they really need the balloons. I think that they're testing defenses, and we're trying to. That's why the government is being so weird about this, in my opinion. They're betting it's more important to. That's why I'm so concerned, because they're betting that it's more important to make the Chinese think that we're fucked up than it is to assure the American people that they're safe. And that's concerning to me. I don't know what moves are being planned. It's possible that China is going to invade Taiwan. I don't know why they hadn't already. I guess just because the world system was still benefiting them more than it wasn't. But, I mean, that time is coming to an end, friends. Sorry, I'm tying my shoe. It's annoying the shit out of me. That time is coming to an end, my friends, because this whole shit is a fucking shit show. But we have, it's funny because I see the video of the dude, the F-22, shooting down this fucking balloon. The guy's like, Fox 1, that's a kill. And, like, don't get me wrong, it's cool that he got to do something. But I literally said out loud to myself, were you going to paint a balloon on your plane now? And they fucking put balloons. It's crazy. But, I mean, that shouldn't be a good thing. I mean, that balloon shouldn't even have been able to get here. But they said a bunch of shit that I just know, unless there's way bigger issues than even I had imagined with the military. Like, a lot of the stuff they said about their inability to shoot down this first balloon, I just know to be a flat-out lie. And I can't be the only person. There's tons of nerds out there that learned about the different... I mean, how many people play DCS World? You telling me that we don't have anything in our... Because the first balloon was going at, what, 60,000 feet? And they said they couldn't shoot it down? That's just not true. There's several planes that could have done that. There's missiles that could do that. So why lie about that? I don't think the Chinese are that stupid either. That's why it's such a weird tactic to pretend to be incompetent, because the Chinese know what we have. So it's just really, it's a strange strategy. I mean, like I said, that's what frightens me the most, is that our government might be so fucking retarded that they're going to bait these people into starting a war, which is kind of what I see is going on. And the way they're being dishonest with the American people is very bothersome. And they're creating the circumstances through which everyone starts to wildly speculate. And some of the wild speculations may be true. I just don't think there's aliens because, like I said, the government basically came out, what was it, a year ago or two? Or was it 2021? I don't remember. And said, yeah, there's UFO. Because remember, the military, the Pentagon said that there were objects that went over their bases and were able to shut down the missile systems. And I think I said this in a video, I don't remember, but I did say, like, that doesn't make... Why would you say that? Even if that was true, especially if it was true, you would not say that out loud. So it made me think, well, these objects are either don't exist, or our government owns them, or something. Because if it was a foreign adversary, they wouldn't want to tell them that their shit was working. So it just doesn't... I don't get it. I don't see the plan here. I don't really see anything positive about this. And just their unwillingness to say that that these are Chinese objects is bizarre to me. As you know, the first one was. Everybody knows they are. Because if they don't tell them that they're Chinese, then people are going to think that they're aliens. I want to see if this thing I'm about to say is true. Sorry, this is a little bit of production it seems to be that the U.S. military is not communicating with the Chinese. So I don't know. It's highly dangerous what is occurring here, and the powers that be are making it worse by not being honest about what's going on. Maybe they would rather people think it's aliens than have people realize that they might be maneuvering us into having a nuclear fucking war or some shit. I just don't understand why. See, I just have so little faith in the government, and like, you're not supposed to say this, but like, I just don't trust that the U.S. military can do all the shit that it says it can. Okay? I recognize they're probably on paper better than anybody else's shit. Certainly, it's the naval and air assets. But I don't know. I don't just assume that just because the shit is better that we're just going to win. Because like, we're positioning everything in a way that think that we can just out and out win a war with China. Like, we probably could win a war with China, but it's going to be really costly and like. But we could win a conventional war with China if like nukes were not allowed. Like, if you could change that setting in the game, but that setting you can't change, so they could kill a lot of people. They've upped their ICBMs. They've done a lot of shit. I do not trust the government when they say that they're able to stop these ballistic missiles, or enough of them that, I mean, sure, maybe they'll stop 80% of them. 80% of a couple hundred, 20% of a couple hundred thermonuclear weapons is a lot of thermonuclear weapons. I'm waiting for these fucking people from Consumers to come. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's interesting. But I think that I mean, suffice it to say, I think we're in some danger. Not from aliens, but from potentially the Chinese or our own government creating conflict. I mean, and also, like, if you believe the numbers that they gave for what they've given to the Ukrainians, they've given them a large number of our stuff. Yeah, it's, I just don't really have anything really positive to say about the whole thing. You know, trying not, it's like, it's very bizarre. So, yeah, before I just keep repeating that everything's bizarre, I'm going to let you folks go. If anything else happens on this, we'll talk about this. See if they find any additional debris. Oh, and look at how big the payload was on that first balloon. Like, there could have been anything on that balloon. That's why they didn't shoot it down. Really. It's not that they couldn't. It's that... It's not even that pieces of metal were going to crash. It's their concern that there could have been anything. There could have been anything on it. Who knows what could be on it? There's a huge apparatus. It could have had anything on it. Somebody suggested that it could be releasing, they could have, that big balloon could have released a bunch of other balloons. Like I said, I think the thing that makes sense to me is that there's people releasing them in here. That's why the FBI is involved with, why the fuck is the FBI involved with the Chinese spy satellites? That doesn't make any sense. They show FBI people collecting the shit. The FBI wouldn't even handle that. That's for internal, like, that would be a military thing, or like the CIA or something, or NSA. Why would the FBI be doing that? Because there must be a component of internal law enforcement involved here. So there's something else going on with this other than what meets the eye. So I just wanted to float I just wanted to float that idea. Let me know if you think that makes any sense, and I'll talk to you folks later.